your good cholesterol and lower triglycerides, and manage your blood pressure by limiting salt intake. Finally, engage in activities that help reduce stress and be sure to get enough sleep. For more tips about your health, visit us at familyhealthcheckup.org.
Every year, Steve Faircal climbs the stairs at the John Hancock Center in Chicago, 94 floors to the top.
It's called the hustle up the Hancock.
It's hard to believe when you watch Steve today that a few years ago, his lungs were failing and he was fighting to survive.
For 8 hours a day, someone was pounding on my chest to try and keep my lungs clear. I honestly don't think I had more than a couple weeks to live.
That's when Steve received the gift of life, a double lung transplant made possible by an organ donor.
After I got my new lungs, I started doing things that I had never been able to do. I never knew that breathing could feel this good.
Steve climbs to honor his donor and to raise awareness for organ, eye, and tissue donation.
Wouldn't you like that when you left this beautiful planet, that you could save a few lives on your way out? It's an incredible gift.
Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets, they're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
The SEC lives here. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX in Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's no need to fear.
The Underdogs are here. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
What time is it?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. Time to let the big dogs eat. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Northwest Florida? Welcome into the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Old School and AG. Thanks so much for coming in, Adam Goff, and rescuing us from ourselves today.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure.
And we got a wild day going on today. I was, the last couple of days, you got to really dig deep to find some of the better headlines, but today they're just popping up for us. Give us a call or text today, 850-215-6290. A little update on the Chipola Complex fire from the Florida Forest Service. The Adkins Avenue and Star Avenue fires remain the same this afternoon. Florida Forest Service crews continue to improve fire containment lines and look for hot spots. The Bertha Swamp fire, that one is
Out of control.
I don't want to say out of control, but it grew a lot last night, close to 30 acres. Increased fire activity this afternoon. Crews are working in the Bear Creek community to widen already established fire lines and protect homes, and the mandatory evacuation remains in effect for the Bear Creek community. That's brought to you by the Bay County, Florida Emergency Services. So prayers for our first responders, and man, lots of items that we could donate, and I'll be going over that here in the probably 4:30 segment real quick. I've got a little list that we can go over.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I ran over to our Firehouse Subs right over here by us for lunch today.
Yeah.
And they were in there. They were busy. They were putting together these boxes, like catering boxes.
Oh, for the fire
And
department.
I said, hey, man, you guys are busy. And she said, yeah, we're going to deliver, I think it was 350 or 400 meals sandwiches out to the firefighters.
To quote James Hale, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
It's unbelievable.
That's awesome. I just loved it. And I was like, man, you guys are just the best.
Yeah, no doubt. If I know they're not a sponsor of ours,
but those people are
they
just
take
awesome.
care of us day in and
They
day out. And even Randy is now on the train.
Oh, is
right?
he on the train?
Dude, he's got the app now.
Oh.
So he comes in this morning and he's like, "Hey, can you help me figure out this one little thing with the Firehouse app? I imagine you're pretty accustomed to it." I was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll be on it soon." So we need to get together with him.
Yeah, because here's the deal. It's like I went in there today, and they always, hey, Mr. Kyle.
Yeah, hey, Mr. Kyle.
And they said, hey, are you a part of our rewards program? I said, no, I can't figure out how to do it. Well, what did they do? They handed me this thing. What does it say?
They went old school for old school, didn't they?
Yeah, but if we can get a little camera angle.
I can't zoom. Let me see if I can
Even if you were to zoom all the way in, I'll hold it over here to camera too.
No.
Okay, all right.
You're doing good right there.
I'm doing good. Hold this.
There it is. What is it? Hold it straight
all right,
up.
so
now.
hold it straight up.
So how to use our app. That's what I need right there.
Yeah, but the rest of it, you're going to need a younger man to read for you.
Right.
But
that is awesome.
Those people over there, they take great care of us, and I just love them. They're awesome, and it's one of the things about our community is just so awesome is that the businesses jump in, they do what they can do to help. It's a community.
Yes.
It's not just a city; it's a community of people who are looking out for each other, trying to do what they can do to help each other. They understand the challenges that the people who live out in that area are having to deal with right now. They appreciate the efforts of these first responders that are out there dealing with, now it's hot, it's humid, they're dealing with dusty conditions, they're dealing with a dangerous situation, and they're out there giving it their all. And this organization next door here, they're trying to do something to say thank you, and I just think it's fantastic.
All right, that is some great stuff, old school. And then around 4:30, we'll be getting a detailed list of what you can do to help out our first responders and also the people who are evacuated. I don't know how many more people are at the fairgrounds over there in Springfield. I'm not sure how many people are there, but they could use donations as well. And same for the Bear Creek fire going on, or Bear Creek community. Seattle Seahawks, man, this one blew my mind. I don't know why, and maybe it was just because after the news breaks of Aaron Rodgers becoming the highest paid player in NFL history, to which he got on Twitter and not necessarily disputed that, but he hasn't signed anything. We'll get into that just a little bit later, though. The Seattle Seahawks agree to trade quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. It's going to include multiple first-round picks, additional picks, and players. The players, Seahawks get Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Drew Lock, multiple picks, and the Broncos get Russell Wilson in a fourth-round pick. How do y'all see this playing out? Now we're talking about the AFC West, who, if Russell Wilson, who because he has a no-trade clause, he has to accept this, and then there's also a physical that's pending. From what I've read, it's expected that he's going to take this trade or accept the trade, waive the no-trade clause. How does this work out for you guys? Both of these teams were 7-10 last year. Does this just all of a sudden turn the season around, in your opinion, for the Denver Broncos? And then where does it leave the Seahawks? AG, what's up?
I think it does.
Oh, come on.
No, I do.
Come on, AG, come on. There's not a
Let
chance.
the man talk
I'm
one
sorry.
time. Come on, we're going to go right to you next.
Go ahead, AG. I'm sorry.
No, I think it does. I think Denver was one piece away, and that piece being the quarterback.
No.
I mean, they've got a solid defense. They held their own in that division. They were just missing the quarterback. Somebody that can get the ball to all those weapons. Between Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, they've got the young Javonte Williams in the backfield. They're trying to re-sign Melvin Gordon, so that's a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield.
Okay.
Something that Russell Wilson hasn't had in a while. And he's got a little bit better of an offensive line there in Denver. Now, what he does have in Denver is he's got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert,
Derek Carr.
and Derek Carr, 6 games
And Derek Carr had a great
on his
season.
schedule.
Yeah.
So
he had 6 games on his schedule.
So that right there is daunting. That's tough.
Where do you, with just the addition of Russell Wilson, and Von Miller's on Twitter now saying, hey,
Right.
can I have my old locker back? But just with the addition of Russell Wilson, where do you perceive the Denver Broncos to land in the AFC West? Just divisional.
I mean, there's still so much left to do between the draft and free agency, so it's hard to say right now. But, just as far as recency bias goes, I could see them probably finishing second in that division behind Kansas City.
All right.
I mean, they were 7-10 last year. They were close. I mean, it wasn't like the Chargers and the Raiders who were going down literally to the wire in Week 18 against each other to see who goes to the playoffs. Denver wasn't too far behind them in the standings, so they're right there. It's a good piece.
Old school. Where are you at with this trade, man? Breaking the news world today.
No, this is the second coming of Jake Plummer. That's all it is.
Oh, come on.
It is. It's the same. It's the same
How? Jake
thing.
Plummer was crap before and after Denver.
Well, what has Russell Wilson been the last couple of years? He's great for the first 6 games of the year, and then he goes in the crapper.
I would say that he resembles Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray resembles him.
Kyler Murray's a poor man's Russell Wilson.
No. I agree with that. But what I mean by that is you get this hot stretch at the beginning of the season where
that's
it's
my
MVP.
point.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And I was going to say that he reminds me of Kyler Murray in the same, but it's exact opposite because Russ hasn't been like this his whole entire career. It's been 16 games of pure offensive player of the year for the most part. But in the last couple of years, maybe it's been the roster that's been around him. I mean, you can talk about that wide receiving core for the Seattle Seahawks and say it's great and stuff because of DK Metcalf's size and speed and then Tyler Lockett, but I can't even say that it's better with a healthy compared to the Broncos wide receiving core that's healthy. I think I would rather have that one over there rather than having DK and Tyler Lockett as dangerous as those guys could be. But the problem remains still is that in those last 2 or 3 years, he's got off to really hot stretches and then kind of cooled off at the end. And a lot of people say it's because they're not letting Russ cook. I think it's because Russ is trying to cook too much and he doesn't have exactly what you pointed out about what the Broncos do have in a good run game.
Yeah, and look at the offensive line for Russ the last couple of years.
His whole
He's
career.
been sacked. I mean, other than Joe Burrow, he was sacked more than anybody in the last 2 years.
I think
right?
that career-wise, he's getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's around 44, 45 sacks a year. That's tough.
Well, come on, how does that not affect something?
Think about.
You don't want me on this side of the table today, old school.
Think about your team's performance at the end of the season when they've been, starting off hot, and then all of a sudden they're getting beat up. They're getting tired. They're getting worn down. And then what gets worn down is first. It's going to be those big offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
And, so then he's scrambling and he's running for his life. He doesn't have the time to throw to DK and to Tyler Lockett. So
he's not, let's just admit it. He's not a guy that can carry a team. He's not.
In Denver, he's not going to have to.
Oh, I still think he has to carry the team. At certain times, it's going to end up on his shoulders to go win this game for us. And I just have not seen him do that. The one time that he really took it on his shoulders and drove him down to the end of the whole way down to the field, it was in the Super Bowl. And then what did he do? He threw an interception.
I put that more on Carroll than I do on Wilson.
Who had to throw it?
I know, but you still got to run Marshawn Lynch in that situation.
Yeah, you do, man. He'd be a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Exactly.
If you just,
and then this conversation is over.
Well, yes, in a sense, but it also still remains like the Broncos defense isn't. I don't want to say that it's not good because they were serviceable. They were better than serviceable, but it wasn't what it was when they brought over Peyton Manning and was like, we're doing this because we are one piece away. Do we really think? You do. Okay, so I'll say it like this. I do not think that this move makes them Super Bowl contenders. I think that you get in the playoffs, and Tyler Bishop, we were talking about this in a group that I'm in, and Tyler Bishop said, but you don't got to win the division to win the Super Bowl. You just got to get to the playoffs. 100%. And then he used, and I didn't like this part, but he used the example of Tom Brady and the Buccaneers 2 years ago not winning their division. But yes, they did win the Super Bowl. That to me, I don't like that example because we're talking about Tom Brady and they put a lot of weapons around that guy.
Look at my Bengals last year.
Yeah.
Right? We just get in.
Yeah.
We won the division.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's
and
where
we
he's
get
right,
hot,
though. That's
and
where
we get
Tyler's
that.
right
That's
at
what I'm
is
saying.
because all you got to do is get to the playoffs. But this is still extremely hard for the Denver Broncos to get into the playoffs, even with the addition of Russell Wilson, because it's still Herbert is going into year 3. Now, sometimes there could be a slide there, but the kid has shown great progression. Patrick Mahomes, after the year that he had last year for the full length of 17 games, you know that he's wanting to come back and prove he's more than worth well, I don't know how you can really be worth $45 million, but in the world of the market value, that he's worth the $45 million. And Derek Carr had a great year last year for what the Raiders were going on. Now, I still got Russell Wilson above that, but so where does Russell Wilson fall 1 through 4 quarterback-wise, AG? Oh, go ahead.
Number 4.
Oh, so you're going to tell me that Derek Carr is better, in your opinion, than what Russell Wilson is?
Absolutely. Let me make sure you heard that. Absolutely.
All right. AG, where are you at?
I'm going to go number 2, and I think Herbert's 3, and I think Carr's 4. Herbert, all right, Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl ring, correct? Yes or no? Yes,
his defense won him a Super Bowl back a few years ago.
He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's been there. He's done that. He's performed well the entirety of his career. So now you look at Herbert, who, by all intents and purposes, should have been in the playoffs last year. But he had several games last year that he folded. He did not perform.
And not just that, but if his coach doesn't call a timeout right there, the Raiders probably play for the tie there. I don't know, and I don't like that to almost be a fact, but it is. There's some of the mic'd up comments that we've heard from some of the players.
But that's what it was going to take for him to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
So that's why he's 3, Russell Wilson's 2, and Mahomes is 1.
See, and my thing for that is if we're going off the basis of a career, it's not even a question, right? You know what I mean? Or you know, but where we stand right now is, it's tough for me to make the final decision, but you got to have Mahomes at 1. And then you do have some good points, like that game against the Texans. The game against the Texans where you can't put all the blame on Herbert, but still,
you can't lose that
that's
game.
a Carson Wentz, Jacksonville Jaguars game. You've got to come away with that win. So maybe that, but then again, where did Russ have his Seattle Seahawks? You know what I mean? Now, granted, like you said, the offensive line, terrible. Defense has not been anywhere near what we're used to outside of Bobby Wagner, right? So, but both of these teams, 7-10, that's why I say, or that's why my opinion is I don't think that Russ pushes the needle that much. Playoffs? Yeah, because we're making it easier to get into the playoffs. But to win your division, that could be tough. But then again, like you said, well, y'all did win the division.
We won the division.
Y'all won the division,
but still, we weren't supposed to.
Exactly, and where you landed at in the seed of the playoffs and to work your way into the Super Bowl, all you got to do is get there, and then anything is possible. So we'll see how it all plays out. Trivia question for today. How many 50-point games does LeBron James have throughout his career? Give us a call, 850-215-6290 for your chance to win $25 to Rib Crib, $25 to, a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, and a Pineapple Willie's t-shirt. 850-215-6290. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
My weather forecast overnight, showers expected, and the temperature overnight with maybe a rumble of thunder, about 65 degrees, south wind at 10. Showers and thunderstorms likely Wednesday into Thursday, a weather front coming in and stalling. The temperatures in the mid-70s during the day and low to mid-60s at night. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I've always felt, and I've said this many times, I've always thought Georgia Stadium was one of the most idyllic I've ever been to. That was one of the coolest things in the world in the fall. I mean, obviously Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night is a standalone place, but I'm not sure the beauty of it compares to Athens. I'll take Sanford Stadium any day.
Weeknights starting at 6. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale. Keeping your car looking great is easy as 1, 2, 3 at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. By joining their monthly wash club, you'll get the best bang for your buck. In just 2 car washes, your monthly membership pays for itself, starting at only $19.99 a month. What are you waiting for? Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
When you want a big-time sports show, tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
I'm going to send you up against the best.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
Negative, Ghost Rider?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The need for speed.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Rib Crib Radio Room, and we've got our bracket buster coming your way. Obviously, the bracket's not out. It doesn't come out until this Sunday evening. Can't wait for it, though. You can head on over to ESPNPC.com, and you'll be able to find our bracket there, and it'll take you over to ESPN, and you can follow the directions from there. Can't wait for it. Sponsored locally by Team MVP. We're excited for it. All right, we got Max Leiden in the building with PRG, that's Panhandle Restaurant Groups, and also one of the main ones there, Rib Crib. What's going on? We got Bike Night coming up.
Ribs and Rides.
Ribs
March
and
17th.
Rides. March 17th, that's right. And then April 5th for Bike Night.
Yes,
maybe?
I believe so. I'd have to
I think I saw
that.
that on the website there.
Yeah,
So.
and I know Chris won't post or say anything about it, but I got to give props to him too. I know he spent most of the weekend making sandwiches and bringing it over to the Red Cross tent for the firefighters.
Nice.
So, he's someone who genuinely cares about first responders and everything. So, just prayers for everyone out there, and that's the most important thing I feel like right now.
Yeah, no, you're 100%. You're 100% right, because we were just talking about that to open up the show.
Okay.
I was actually evacuated until yesterday.
Really?
So
Is
yeah.
your house okay?
Yeah, the house. No doubt. But there. So I live right off of Game Farm.
Is the tree okay?
The tree is okay.
The tree is okay.
It's doing all right, man. Its roots are even growing. I guess there's a story there with the tree.
We should tell the story, because David moved into his new home and he was like, I want this house to feel like mine. So he went out and he got a tree.
Now we're embellishing. The tree was there with the house.
David, don't ruin the story, man.
Yeah, but we got to keep it 100. It is. But the better part of the story was, our second or third weekend
it blew it
of
over.
the house, it blew completely over, but it was still kind of rooted in there. So got a cinder block before I could even get some stakes, and I just tied some rope around the cinder block and then got it around, about the middle of the tree, and it started to root in a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
Dave, but here's the point is, you and I have had in-depth conversations about that tree, and I now feel emotionally attached to that tree.
Yeah.
And I was concerned about the tree. Yes, I was obviously concerned about your home, but
but the tree
is,
it's our line of defense.
We have bonded.
Well, it's life-giving, right? It lets us breathe.
That 100% true. Got crepe myrtles too, but they're how those are though.
Yeah, they take a while.
But they're strong though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can live through anything.
Yeah.
Lots of symbolism outside your house.
All right, so what do we want to get into? Calvin Ridley or... Oh, wait. First, we got to get over to our caller. Let's play a little trivia. We got Mr. Lieber on the air. Go ahead.
This is Chris.
Oh, Chris.
No, you're right. It's Mr. Lieber. We better know this Buckeye Don.
Oh, Buckeye Don. All right, I was just making sure because I'm on the opposite side of the deck today, so just making sure we got the right Mr. Don on with us. How many 50-point games does LeBron James have throughout his career?
LeBron would have lucky number 13, I do believe.
Yes, sir. You're 100% correct, and he's still a little ways behind Mike. Mike was somewhere in the 30s, 31 or a little higher than that. But thanks so much. Hey, go ahead, Don.
I was going to say, I grew up 20 miles where LeBron played high school. I'll still say to this day that he ain't got nothing on Mike, man.
Ooh, strong words, and we don't have enough time to get into those.
Love
Hey,
it.
Buckeye Don, thanks so much. You just won $25 to Rib Crib, a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, and a Pineapple Willie's t-shirt.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, you know where we're located, right? Yeah, absolutely you
sir.
do. Yeah, you can come pick it up whenever. I got you, buddy.
All right, man. No problem. Have a great day, guys.
Hey, you do the same. And sorry to our caller on line 2. We've already got a winner, so we'll be digging into our Minute with Max here. All right, so Calvin Ridley or Major League Baseball, which one you want to get into first? Let's go Calvin Ridley. All right, Calvin Ridley placed 3 bets in November. He was away from the team. And this is what's so crazy is we found it out yesterday. 17-game suspension first off. All right, 17-game suspension for betting on the game. What did Ray Rice get for being in an elevator?
Right?
Was it 2 games or was it 6 games?
It was started out at 4,
And then
they appealed it down to 2.
All right. Josh Gordon, 6 seasons.
Smoking weed.
For smoking weed. Who else? There's just so many numbers
Kareem
out
Hunt,
there. Kareem Hunt. I think that was the 6 games.
They said he
His
like
was
300 kicked a woman in the chest, right?
Yeah.
You know, like on the movie 300 where he's like, this
So-
is Sparta.
So here's I do not want to confuse the fact that yes, Calvin Ridley is in the wrong. Calvin Ridley's in the wrong. You can't be an NFL player and bet on NFL games. You can go bet on MLB games, whatever you want. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I mean, you can't do that. It just looks bad because of the NFL's suspension policy of like some of the suspensions of things that were probably a lot more severe, like domestic violence versus gambling. I mean, don't get me wrong, like you can't gamble in the sport you're in, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother me. But I mean, he didn't probably have any influence on those games, but I'm sure he's telling people like, hey, Matt Ryan's going to throw an interception today or something.
Well, I mean, he's playing a 3-team, a 5-team, and an 8-team parlay. And really how he got caught up in this is because he was using what's that?
He was here in Florida.
Yeah, he was here in Florida. He was using the Hard Rock Sportsbook, right? The Hard Rock, we did have a legal betting app for a time. Well, then he left Florida and tried to do another bet. And then that's where the flag came up. And then so the NFL uses Genius Sports to track data and gambling data and stuff like that. And so that's where they caught on to him. He spent $1,500. That's irrelevant though, right? The amount of money, and that's self-proclaimed on his Twitter. The amount of money for the amount of money that you lost. You get a lot of memes and jokes right now about how worst odds ever for any bet of all time to bet $1,500 and then lose $11 million. The league did determine that he used no insider information for these bets, and no one with the team was aware of the bets compared to, no, never mind. That's what I was writing to myself. But still, so this to me, I get the suspension. The suspension is warranted. I don't know about the link, though, because it sends a message to not just the players that are there now, but what is more important, the youth. So you're going to show the youth that it's okay to go hit a woman, and you're only going to get 6 to 8 games, maybe 2 games or whatever, but you bet on a game, bet on yourself, or well, not on yourself, but on your team, and you lose a whole season. Now, I get the integrity and everything where the NFL is going, but maybe, I'm not saying shorten the suspension for Calvin Ridley, but maybe lengthen some of these other ones that have to do with domestic violence and such.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. And, no one's ever looked at the NFL and their suspension policy and said, well, they hit that one out of the park. Right, you're right on the money there. But the Shield has always protected the Shield, right? That's what the only thing is that they have about it. So, when you look at them laying down the hammer on Ridley, because I don't know, at least nothing that I can remember that's been announced to something to this extent of a player gambling on the NFL. So, I mean, if this is the first one and they're sitting...
It's not the first one. It might be the first notable one since sports gambling has become so
right.
legalized.
So that's what I'm saying. So now that the NFL is so
big.
intertwined with the sports gambling, right? So so now you have that going on, and so they had to lay the hammer down, because the next time you have a player doing it, maybe, or thinking about doing it, maybe they're going to think twice about it.
But I'm in 100% agreement with that, though.
So now when you look at the other side of it, you're absolutely 100% right. They've got to do better about, punishing some of these players for doing some of the heinous acts that they're involved in, right? So, and I agree with that. But, and I've seen people out there question, well, Ross has been out there and, he's got stakes in a gambling company and no one's punished him yet. I'm like, isn't that still under investigation, what Ross was allegedly doing down in Miami?
Okay, yes,
So,
but,
it's two different scenarios.
No, but still, if there's any validity to that, because you're right, it is cut and dry with Calvin Ridley. But if there is any validity to what Stephen Ross did with those Miami Dolphins and offering Brian Flores $100,000 per loss, if there is a shred of evidence against that, get that man.
Get rid of his team. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. But you can't
go
compare the two right now.
Because, yeah, 100%.
Because one of them hasn't been adjudicated yet. The other one, Calvin really came out and said, "Yeah, I gambled 1,500. Doesn't mean I have a gambling problem."
But then I guess when you're caught red-handed, it's easy to be honest about things.
But with Ross, nothing's been handled yet. So with the two, there's no correlation there.
Right. And with Ross too, it's kind of like I believed it initially, but then when Flores took the job, and with the Steelers, I don't know, it shouldn't diminish it, but I think it kind of did at the same time. Where it's like if he really thought he had substantial claims, he wouldn't have, because there's more money in that suit than, and going the, I don't want to say the Kaepernick-ish route than going to coaching, but I don't know. I
don't know. Cap could have got himself back into the league had he followed that workout plan instead of trying. And
well,
I don't know. That's just
he was really bad at the end.
Well, no doubt. But I'm saying, if they gave you the chance to work out, all right, you're better than 60. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're better than one of those guys that's a third-string quarterback or whatever. And so, if you would have wanted to take that's neither here nor there. Old school, you've been wanting to say something. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question, and I don't know that it's been discussed yet. Was any of the games that Calvin Ridley supposedly bet on, were they while he was still playing?
No, this is November 23rd through the 28th, Jacksonville Jaguars
So
game.
this is after he quit playing?
Yeah, he wasn't playing. But still, you're on a roster at that point.
Yeah, I just think that something that, there's, whenever somebody comes down that hard on somebody the first time, this is just the old guy in me, kind of go, oh, there's more here to this story than what we're hearing. Because they're coming down on this kid hard.
17 games?
They're coming down on him
our second season with 17 games?
Especially for a league that doesn't suspend hard.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, there's more here.
Well, I think what the more is.
And sometimes what they do is they come down hard on you, hoping that because they came down so hard, nobody will go and kind of look into it a little bit more, because they'll just, that
it's cut and dry, but it's not as cut and dry as what we think.
There's more. There's more there. There is, the old smoke. There might be some fire.
Yeah, they sweep some stuff under the rug in the NFL.
Yes, they
for
have.
Sure.
Yes, they do, and they have for years and years. And I think they're sweeping something here too.
And it's to protect that shield.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and 100% agree there. But then another thing is, if there was something more, and I agree that there definitely could be, why would Calvin Ridley not be spewing that?
Because if it makes him look worse, then...
Well, right. But that's what I think that they would go down so hard on him to keep things away from them, from the shield. Keep thoughts away from or keep investigations from the shield.
I think it's very interesting that he just went, oh, yeah, I bet on it. I did. Yeah, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. And then goes, well, there's more here.
It's only $1,500, and he doesn't have a problem.
He actually lost $11.1 million.
No, I know.
there's more here.
I will say too, though, like I'm at the age where I know, a couple people who are in the league, and I know that happens, but it's people telling their friend to place the bet, which is a lot smarter than using your name.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, hey man, I'll Venmo you or whatever.
But if you're, and he's not as young as what his career is, 27 years old, right? So maybe you would think that his frontal lobe would have been a little bit more developed, but then
where did he go to school?
You're exactly right. He went where champions go to play football, not to graduate college. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's on to something. Maybe he's just pissed to still be on the Falcons. He's
like, man, I want to win.
He wants the old school route.
Ryan's still here. I'm out.
You do got to feel for Matt Ryan, dude. All of the stuff that he's had to deal with in the last couple of years.
He's like, I still got Kyle Pitts.
I still got Kyle Pitts. Let's go. All right, we do need to go to a break. We're going to take a short time out. When we get back, we're going to be keeping it going with Your Minute with Max. Probably dive into the MLB here.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your exclusive home for March Madness.
And it goes for the win!
We'll bring you every game live. It's the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, college basketball's premier event, and it's all right here.
And the dream is alive!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-912-9624. 800-912-9624. 800-912-9624. That's 800-912-9624.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, welcome back into the Rib Crib Radio Room. We got some great college basketball on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida for you. This weekend, starting it off Friday at 5:30, we got the ACC semifinals, and then the SEC semifinals kick off Saturday at noon, followed by Selection Sunday evening, and the SEC championship actually will be Sunday, 11:45. Coverage begins 12 o'clock for the tip-off for the SEC championship, and what about Auburn and Kentucky? For the 5 at 5 today, Old School, we're going to be going over the 5 rematches that we want to see here in Conference Championship Week. So I'm excited about that, man. Maybe a little Duke, North Carolina, a little Michigan, Wisconsin action.
UCLA, Arizona.
UCLA, Arizona. That is definitely one that's on there for sure. Which one you want to see the most, since you won't be here for that segment?
Well, I want Indiana to go far. They need to beat Michigan to make the playoffs. I'm a Hoosier.
Oh, man, what happened against Purdue in the end of that game?
They're
what was that
Indiana.
shot?
They are Indiana.
Isn't
That's
Georgia like 6-21?
He's got a difference. It's Texas, man.
Right.
Texas and Baylor. and
what?
Gonzaga.
Yeah. Anybody
They're
that
number
won,
one, they're old
anybody
school.
that won it all last year, that's who he's with.
Oh.
Until we vote, right? Aren't we voting
so
on
No,
it?
that's for his NFL
only
team.
for
Okay,
football.
okay.
Only
all
for
right.
his
So
NFL
you're not a
team.
Baylor, Gonzaga, UCLA fan.
Actually, the rematch that I would like to see is UCLA Houston.
Oh.
So that we could bring back
In the tournament then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or anywhere. It would be cool if it could be in the tournament
All
because
right.
there's a game, there's a historical game where UCLA had won 64 games in a row or 68 games in a row, and they played University of Houston. University of Houston had what was his name?
Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler.
No, this is before that.
Oh.
And anyway, so Houston beat and this is when UCLA had Lou Alcindor at that point. And they played in the Astrodome. 68,000 people came to the game.
Oh, wow.
So I would like to see, that would be a cool thing because they could do a story about it. There would be so many stories about it.
Have they not played since then at all?
I don't think they have because, Houston is in a completely different conference and UCLA, and they haven't been very good for a long time after
Houston was in the Final Four last year, right?
I hadn't gotten that out yet.
Yeah, my bad.
They, after what happened with, the Phi Slamma Jamma, then, Houston kind of got bad until this last year. But,
it's kind of like the same trajectory of SMU football.
I wouldn't be able to root for Houston, though.
Why?
Their coach is
Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, he did he did a little number on the Indiana, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
Yeah. Let's see, where
Tell
else?
me how you really feel,
where else
Yeah. That was actually before I was an Indiana fan, so what he did was fine. Whatever.
Let me think.
Whatever.
Let's see, where else has he coached basketball?
Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
Texas Tech and Texas would be a good one too. But we'll get into that at the 5 at 5 today.
I'm trying to think of I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Houston had a really good player that went on to have a big career in the NBA, and I cannot think of his name.
Let's get those texts rolling in. 850-215-6290. Help old school remember things. Come on.
Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes. There you go. Thank you. Whoever sent that in.
That was actually Google.
Oh, you Googled it. Right. You did what now?
AG, Adam Google.
I was going to say, since old school always gives me trash, it'd probably be pretty cool for you to see there be a 3-point line when UCLA plays Houston.
That would be cool.
Since they didn't have one.
It'd be nice to see Houston actually make free throws.
That's a good point, too. All right, so Max wanted to go through the Power 5 conferences for college basketball here and go pick the conference champion. So let's start with Adam Goff over here in the ACC. Will your Louisville Cardinals be able to bring home the hardware?
You're so funny. That's awesome. No, that's not going to happen.
I'm going to keep track of this.
In the ACC, I think if Florida State can get hot, they can do some damage, but I'm going to go with a little off the radar pick here, and I'm going to go Notre Dame.
Ooh, okay.
That one's fun.
Dang, that's a tough route. They got to get through North Carolina and then beat Duke in the finals.
What do you like, Max?
I'll go with the chalk. I got to go with Duke over North Carolina. They got to get a vengeance game after. Cool
but
for
the only
Hubert
way
Davis,
that they
though.
could play it would be in the title game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to go with Duke, even though it's chalk. I think they're going to be pretty ticked off coming off that.
What do you mean by chalk? What is
like
the
chalk?
It's 2 seeds and the 2 top seeds.
Like the top line is called chalk. It's like, so if you take all 4 number 1 seeds in your tournament bracket, you're picking chalk.
I actually learned that from Adam Goff.
Yeah.
I
think it's just like a Midwestern thing.
Is it a Midwestern
I think
thing?
it is.
I never heard.
You're a rock chalk Jayhawk.
I have heard.
Right.
Of
That means they're top of the echelon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never understood why they said that.
Yeah.
If I were to pick a team,
But it's only in basketball.
No, you can say it in anything.
I know, but Rock Chalk Jayhawk, they cheer that for football, and they're anything but that.
Right, this is true.
That goes with the chant. That's not what they're saying.
Oh, man. I would love to see Florida State go deep in the tournament because that's their only way that they're going to get into the tournament, into the March Madness tournament, is if they win the ACC tournament. They've just had too many injuries to deal with. Like my Notre Dame pick, like Adam Goff would be Miami. My an actual feasible pick would be North Carolina. I've always liked North Carolina over Duke. I don't know what it is. Maybe because I like baby blue better than.
It's the Jordan logo. You can admit it.
That's That's the whole truth to it.
The
It's
roof
all
is the
about
ceiling.
Jordan logo.
The roof is the ceiling.
Let's go. Who you got? ACC.
I'm going to go with. I'm going with the bean counter. I'm going with Duke.
The chalk.
The chalk. I'm taking the chalk. I don't know what that means, but I'm taking it.
All right, let's start with Max here in the Big Ten.
Man, this pains me, but I like their layout. I got to go with Iowa over Purdue.
Is that not kind of crazy to say?
I can't believe
because
Iowa's...
of all of the other teams in the Big Ten that are having decent seasons,
Yeah.
or is it because the Big Ten is somewhat, compared to years prior, down this year?
Oh, I think it's pretty deep.
It's deep.
But I'm saying the teams that you normally have at the top of the Big Ten, this is why I think the Big Ten is so deep, because the teams that are at the
Oh, I
top of the Big Ten aren't
Illinois,
necessarily. Yeah, they're not.
Illinois is the 1, Wisco 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purdue 3.
That's
Iowa
kind of what I was
Wisconsin.
getting at.
2. Because they were co-champs with U of I since they lost to Nebraska on Saturday.
And how about
Sunday,
Rutgers
sorry.
getting them
Typical
by?
Wisconsin couldn't
I
finish.
know.
That's,
We let Ron Harper Jr. drill a 3 on us.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so you've got Iowa.
Yeah. Grudgingly.
It's got to be begrudging. I wonder if Tom Izzo could get it done, but you know what? I'm going to go with Rutgers. I mean, not Rutgers. I'll go with Purdue to win the tournament. Who you got, old school?
I'm going to go with the Badgers.
Wisconsin?
I'm going to go Wisconsin.
Do they take on Michigan in the final?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That'd be pretty
Oh, let's get it. AG, what you got for the Big Ten here?
You stole my Rutgers pick.
No, I didn't. I went Purdue.
Oh.
I said Rutgers
that's
out loud,
right.
but I meant Purdue.
Well, see, I'm still fighting between Rutgers and Illinois. Illinois is playing good ball right now.
Kobe Cockburn.
But
also
let's
with
make it
Wisconsin,
interesting.
though, Wisconsin, we got to watch out for their top player who could be injured. So.
Give me Rutgers. Let's make it interesting.
All right. Let's go to the Big 12. Start with old school.
I will take Baylor, please.
All right. What you got, Adam?
Give me old school's Fighting Texas Longhorns.
Oh, they take on TCU in their opening game. You're going to? Oh no, you're not going to Texas.
Good way to die over it.
Horns down.
Who are you going with?
I'm sure my mother's listening, so she's a Kansas alum. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I got to go with KU.
Chalk it.
Chalk.
Whatever.
Well, they would be up there with the chalk because it would be Kansas and
it's
Baylor
Kansas
would be the
versus
chalk.
Baylor,
Yeah.
Just probably that's my guess.
I'm gonna go the Red Raiders.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texas Tech. Why not, man? Like AG said, make it interesting.
What
Let's
a way
go
to throw it into Beard's face if they did that, right?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would, especially
Like,
if they
hey.
played Texas in the final.
Yeah, miss you not.
Mission. All right, let's go to the SEC here. I'll go with my homer pick, even though I'll go with my realistic and with my homer pick. My homer pick is gonna be Alabama, but honestly, when it comes down to the truth of it, Arkansas.
Ooh.
So I'll go Arkansas.
Chris would love you for that pick.
I'm just trying to get me a free
Sandwich.
rib rib sandwich, man. Old school, who you got? SEC. Alabama, roll tide. Yes, sir.
I am going with the Fighting McDonald's bags. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You know what? You can laugh, but
Hey,
I am
Rick
right there
Barnes,
with
man,
you.
I'm
laughing
telling
at the
you, that-
McDonald's
What'd you call
bag.
him?
Rick
Huh?
Barnes, but
What'd
the
you call
problem,
him?
The Fighting McDonald's
McDonald's bags because of Jeremy Pruitt and it was a
Oh,
football
gotcha,
thing.
gotcha.
But my thing with Rick Barnes or with Tennessee is how great they are at the house, but this is going to be a neutral environment.
I just like the way that, it's just good to see Rick Barnes actually getting somebody to play well.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm actually with you on that. I'm going Tennessee as well. They're playing exceptional basketball, home or on the road right now. They still have a winning record on the road. Give me Tennessee because I can't pick Kentucky.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is treasonous as a Hoosier, but I think I got to go with Kentucky taking down Arkansas.
G-Man, do not call in.
Well, I
we
don't
don't
want
have
Auburn
time.
to win. Bruce Pearl, Bruce Pearl's like the worst.
I was
dude
just
on the planet.
I'm like
come
thinking
on.
about that.
Him,
Like,
the SEC is full of cheaters, man. Him, Calipari. Like, come on.
Ooh.
They are. They've been like incriminated.
we got to
every
get to the
place
West.
they've been.
You stop hating on our conference.
We need
right
to start
now.
calling this segment "Slinging Sauce" with Max.
I'm sorry.
It's perfect because who's coming to the SEC now? Oklahoma. Another great cheater.
AG Pac-12. Who you like?
Give me the Fighting McCronins. Johnny Juzang coming back. I think they're going to have an edge there.
Max?
I'll go with UCLA over Arizona.
Ooh, man. I almost want to go USC, but I think I'm going to... Man, if everybody's going UCLA, got to make it interesting. Give me them Wildcats out of Arizona. Who you got, old school?
I'm going to go with the Trojans of USC. I would take the Wildcats, but they cannot win it. They're always good, but they just can't win.
Yeah.
They can't win a tournament.
All right, stay tuned for our staff meteorologist, Tim Root, with the most detailed forecast on the Panhandle. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
My weather forecast overnight, showers expected, and the temperature overnight with maybe a rumble of thunder, about 65 degrees, south wind at 10. Showers and thunderstorms likely Wednesday into Thursday, a weather front coming in and stalling. The temperatures in the mid-70s during the day and low to mid-60s at night. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is taking the madness to the next level with Bracket Busters, sponsored by Team MVP. Compete with other ESPN Northwest Florida listeners to win choice prizes. Just go to ESPNPC.com to enter. No passwords, free to play, and listen weekdays at 5:10 for Bracket Buster updates with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're live and local on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
Dr. Chad Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon, specializing in sports medicine and joint replacement of the knee, shoulder, and hip. He serves our local athletes and our community. Southern Orthopedic Specialist has been the leader in orthopedic care for over 20 years. New patients are welcome. Call 850-769-KNEE to schedule an appointment. More about Dr. Mitchell and Southern Orthopedic Specialist is available on their website, southernorthopedic.com. Southern Orthopedic, getting you back in the game.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
BNI of Northwest Florida, Central Maloney Incorporated, Hardy Custom Home Builders, LLC, Hensel Phelps, Labor Ready to Go, LLC, and Uniquely Made.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. We are live. This is Defend Your Stance. That was your minute with Max in the last 2 segments. I like that, though. what was the sauce?
Slinging sauce.
Slinging sauce with Max Delight, and it's delightful sauce. Sponsored by Emerald Coast Damsel is Defend Your Stance, Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense. Hey, let's make sure that we're packing out the Panama City Fairgrounds March 19th and the 20th, as long as everything is available to go, because they are using that site for an evacuation site. Last I heard, I don't know, since the Adkins Avenue fire and since the Sims the fire over there off of Star and Tram, how that's going to work out. But March 19th and 20th, book it for the fairgrounds in Panama City. We pity the fool who doesn't use our tools. Saw this question on Facebook today. Figured I'd give you guys the opportunity to put your opinions out there. Best sports city in America, in your opinion, who is it? Old school.
Ooh, that's a tough one. But my main man, Max, you know, you never go, let me give you a little advice, Dave. Don't ever go against the accountant.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Chicago.
What if it's one of your accountants? Never mind.
Don't go against the accountant.
What if your accountant's going against you?
Well, that's not good.
That is not good.
That's why you always want to have your
That's why
accountant.
you want to get one like Max.
That's exactly right.
100% correct. So, all right, give me one outside of Chicago. Or we can come back to you.
You know, I think Chicago's really good, and I also think Miami is really good.
Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, just because people there are into their sports. They may not be for their
Marlins?
Miami. No, wait. No,
Yeah.
You're misunderstanding what I mean.
Because I'm trying to think of one that's packed.
I mean, high school football, I get.
No. The point is, there's so many people that live in Miami that are fans of other teams.
Okay.
So that no matter if you're playing the Marlins, right? You go to a game, there's always more fans from the other team than there are from the Marlins because of the fact that Miami is such a community that everybody moves to. So, but that doesn't mean they're not sports fans. They are just not necessarily Miami team fans.
Okay.
But the Heat has been good. The Dolphins have been good. But other than that, the Marlins. But that doesn't mean that people that live in Miami are not into sports. And I thought that's what the question was. A good sports town.
Yeah, I mean, and with you defended your stand.
Yeah.
So I understand that a little bit better now because, I was thinking about this and I'm like, well, really, I can't use any of mine because they're not like great. Nashville's on its way, maybe.
Yeah, it's coming though.
You know what I mean? Tampa.
No.
Well,
No.
if you
They're trying to move the Rays away, though.
If you go in the last couple of, they're trying to, the residents of Tampa and the mayor of Tampa is trying to get them over to actual Tampa because where they're at right now is St. Petersburg. But back-to-back Stanley Cups, Super Bowl in 2020 or 2021.
World Series.
They didn't win the World Series
appearance.
Yeah, but they were in the World Series appearance. But that was my kicker, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was my kicker, though, was the lack of appreciation that the Tampa Bay Rays get. But then again, you look at all of the spring training sites, if we were actually having one of those this year, and just like like baseball's pretty big up here. Go down south, go to St. Pete, and get in that area for youth baseball, and it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So you got that one. So I'm gonna go off the cuff though, and go with. I wish they still had the Rams to make this, but St. Louis. St. Louis seems like a great. I've never been there, so
fun.
I don't know. But it seems like a great place.
Well, I mean, they are just huge fans of their teams.
They're
the
good
Cardinals,
fans too,
and they are good. They're there when whether they win
What
or
about
lose.
Cleveland?
Too cold, man.
No, I know, but the fans there, the fans there, like their teams are crap all the time, and here they are supporting them. That's a good sports city.
That is a good. I mean, they do support them even if they're not very good. Now, recently, the Cardinals have been that team, kind of like AG's Reds, in the fact that they're pretty good.
They had a good season last year, very unexpected.
But they came out with 17 in a row or something to finish out the season. Yeah.
So it was enough for the fans to be excited about it, but they didn't make it through like our team did, Dave.
So I've got one, and y'all are going to balk at me because I'm biased, but let me explain. Louisville. Okay. So, and this isn't just...
that's a big explanation.
This isn't just... Well, hear me out. This isn't just about my Louisville Cardinals, right? Which, 3 national championships in basketball. We've won a BCS Bowl in football. Baseball's been to a bunch of World Series with University of Louisville. You've got the Louisville Bats, which is a AAA affiliate of Cincinnati Reds. But on top of that, it's the hometown of the greatest boxer of all time. He's in our GOAT of GOATs, right?
That's a
Muhammad
great
Ali.
point, Muhammad Ali.
You've got the Kentucky Derby, best 2 minutes in sports. If you've never been to the Kentucky Derby or the Kentucky Oaks, it's bucket list. You've got to go.
What is the ticket run to get into the Kentucky Derby? At least, let's just go off the times.
Like, if you just want to get into the infield,
get in the infield.
I mean, for 2 of you, you can probably get in for about $100 or so. It's not bad.
To get into the stands?
No,
No, I'm asking.
Oh, grandstand? You're looking probably $450, $500 for the Derby per ticket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also depends on where you're at. Like, are you in a box? Are you on turn 4? Are you on turn 3, turn 2? Where are you at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on that too.
Kentucky Derby is one, or really any of one of the 3 big races. But if there was one of the 3 that I wanted to get to, it would be the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Then the Indianapolis 500 is one that I got to get to.
Can I ask a stupid question, Dave?
I don't give stupid answers, but sure.
I wanted to ask AG, since you've been to the Kentucky Derby, or you've been around it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of the ladies wear the hats, the guys wear seersucker suits, all these different
goofy
things.
suits,
goofy
now
stuff.
Is the trend,
It's crazy stuff. For the other major races, do they have similar traditions? But each one unique?
Like as far as the Preakness and the Belmont go?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they do.
But, there's the mint julep at
Churchill Downs,
And I just wondered about, at the other tracks, if they have similar or different types of.
I mean, I'm sure
traditions.
they have their own traditions and stuff up there in New York, and
I'd be interested if any of our listeners know. That'd be cool to hear.
I've never been to the Preakness or the Belmont, but I do know that in Louisville, like, in particularly the Preakness, that we follow that, especially if the horse that wins the Derby wins the Preakness and then goes to Belmont. So that's a big deal, right? So the Triple Crown, and there's still parties on that Saturday for the Preakness and for the Belmont, especially if there's a potential Triple Crown winner. So it's still a big deal.
All right, we got to go to a break. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back with the 5 at 5. And then the Outlaws, a new rugby team, I believe, headed here to Panama City. We'll have them at 5:15. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. Who will be this year's Cinderella? ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament. Sponsored locally by
Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Bill Bird Kia, and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's up, everybody? David Pollock here with Barbaritos. Did you know that Barbaritos has 35 farm fresh ingredients? That means you have over 3,000 entree combinations that you can put on your plate. Luckily, Barbaritos put together their 9 under 500 calorie menu, which features 9 different entrees that you can feel great about eating. Try the ground turkey salad with double protein, the mini chicken burrito, or my personal favorite Friday meal, fish tacos with guacamole. It's a winning play with Barbaritos.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Safety is important, not just for you, but also for your family. Emerald Coast AMSL specializes in women's and children's safety and self-protection. They offer a variety of products from stun guns, striking tools, pepper sprays, including GPS-enabled sprays, personal alarms, safety whistles, and more. Give the gift of self-protection and contact Michelle and Rick today, 850-358-2810, or visit their website at emeraldcoastdamsel.com. Independent Damsel Pro for damsel in defense.
your exclusive home for March Madness. Powered by Pepsi. WGS Excellent Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Dairyland is your land. It's car insurance that keeps you on the road so that you can make it to work on time. Its payment plans are flexible for when life gets complicated. It's affordable coverage to help you get back on the road again, even if you've taken a break. Because Dairyland is auto insurance that's customized to fit your life. Dairyland is your land.
Car insurance doesn't have to be complicated. We can help. Contact Ellis Agency Insurance today at 850-763-1627 or visit ellisagency.net.
Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 850-215-6290.
When you have completed dialing, listen for the ringing signal.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. Welcome back in. It's the 5 at 5. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with Adam Goff and Old School. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. The dog of the day today. Hey, I didn't give it out yesterday, Old School, but I had Golden State, who was taking on the Utah Jazz. I was like, they're getting 8 points. I know that they're kind of sliding right now, but I'll take them with 8 points. And Utah Jazz did beat the Golden State Warriors by 7. So tonight, Oklahoma City is hosting the Milwaukee Bucks, but they're playing pretty good against the spread right now, and they're getting 13.5 points. So that's going to be my dog of the day. Oklahoma City hosting the Milwaukee Bucks, but getting 13.5. Let's talk about five of these rivalries that we would like to see a rematch of. 5 great games regardless throughout the college basketball season. Some of them have played 2 times, like Auburn and Kentucky, or some. The one I want to see, I'll start off with number 5, and then we'll just kind of go around the table and make a combined list, if you will. The UConn Huskies versus Villanova. All right, I was watching this game the last time that they played, and Coach Dan Hurley got ejected. I believe it was in the first half of the game. The way that they could take each other on is in the Big East tournament in the semifinals, which will be Friday at 8 o'clock on FS1. They split both of their games, UConn and Villanova, and the last one was a heck of a game. You know, Gillespie was headed down the court at full speed, and they ended up calling a charge on him instead of a blocking foul, and so that put the ball back in the hands of UConn, and they ended up getting the W. So that's a game that if it came down to it, I would really enjoy to see. What is one off of this list here for you that you could not wait to, or that you would want to see the rematch of?
Well, it jumps out at me right off the bat, which I think the 2 best teams in
college
in
basketball,
the Big 12, and possibly even college basketball, Baylor Bears versus Kansas Chalk Jayhawks. Now, I'm going to use that chalk thing, man. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I never knew that.
For me, it's Auburn, Kentucky. I mean, you got 2 teams.
and they only got to play once.
Right, and you got a team in Auburn that's been struggling lately. You got a team in Kentucky that outside of that Tennessee loss has been playing really, really well. They got the Player of the Year in Oscar Tshiebwe. So you've got, Walker Kessler and that group going up against the Fighting Caliparis. I think that would be a heck of a matchup to see in the SEC tournament.
Hey, don't forget about the Bracket Buster. Head on over to ESPNPC.com. It's free to play, no password needed. ESPNPC.com, and look for a Bracket Buster. Bone Crusher put that up there today or yesterday, so we need to be filling that thing up. We're teaming up with Team MVP. That's Leanne Schwartzentruber, and she's going to give us some great prizes. All right, so what's another one here that we want to see? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if they're going to play, but I was just thinking about great games and how you would love to see a rematch. I would love to see, and particularly now since Patrick Ewing is coaching for Georgetown, I would love to see Georgetown and Villanova match back up again.
Right, but you don't want the same result.
No, I don't
where
want
it was
the same,
like 37-36 or whatever it was.
No, I'm talking about when Villanova shocked the world and beat
at Rupp Arena.
Yeah,
in
that was
83.
Awesome. Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, I still don't
84, 83 was North Carolina.
Georgetown's 6-24, and they're sticking with
and they're staying with Patrick
Ewing for another year here.
I mean, can you fire Patrick Ewing from Georgetown? Is that even doable?
People forgot about how big of a legend he was at Madison Square Garden.
I know, but I mean, like
they didn't even know who he was.
But I mean, seriously, like if you're Georgetown, aren't you in like a no-win situation here? Because you're going to be the AD that fires Patrick Ewing from Georgetown.
You're right. But how many seasons can you go going 6-24? You know what I mean?
Well, last year he had a
decent season. So if you bounce back in the next year, 100%. It's like if Saban were to go 9-7 next year, like Alabama's 9-7. That's an NFL schedule almost, just -1. If he were to go 9-3, which he got a lot of calls for his name from fans at 10-2. So if he were to go 9-3, you got to think a lot of those same fans would be saying the same thing. But what's Greg Byrne going to do? He ain't going nowhere, Saban, unless you're ready to go somewhere.
Well, the difference
is
Saban's got that lifetime contract, though. So.
That Michigan Eddie, Jim Harbaugh type contract.
Right.
But what I'm saying, what I was getting at is like one bad year. You're right, though. That's not means to get rid of a legend at your university.
Clyde Drexler went and coached at the University of Houston, and he got fired.
Yeah.
That's. I'm not saying that he won't. That he's not going to be able to get fired. I'm saying that you're allowed a bad season.
You just get more time.
Yeah, you get maybe a little bit more time, but you're allowed a bad season. After a good season, you can have a bad season, but you better bounce back. You have 2 years in a row where you're only winning 6-7 games.
That leash is getting a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that leash gets a lot shorter, at least in my opinion. What's another game that you guys want to see? I don't have my list over here by me.
UCLA, Arizona.
Yeah.
That game was a battle earlier this season. I'd love to see that again, especially both of those being at full strength.
The obvious one is Duke and North Carolina.
No,
I don't think that's the best
so
one.
many times.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to see that as the final for the ACC championship,
I don't.
Though? What do you want to see?
Give me Notre Dame, Florida State or something. Let's make it different.
Did we have that not too long ago, though? I feel like we had that not too long ago.
Notre Dame won it. Well, Florida State won it the year that we cut the season out. They cut the tournament out. And I think Notre Dame won it last year. Was it last year or 3 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
I can't remember who won it last year, but I don't care. Anytime you could put Duke and North Carolina on the TV, especially the way that game ended last time, and then you had the kid Carrawell who didn't shake, like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I didn't shake coach's hand, the head coach of the basketball team, and I'm just an assistant coach. I didn't shake his hand because he didn't shake mine before the game. Come on, man. And it's not the same animosity that we're getting out of.
I like this Michigan Wolverines versus
That's the
Wisconsin.
best one. That's numero
The
uno.
Handshake Line Bowl?
Yeah.
I want that game. That's going to be awesome.
Well, Michigan really
Georgia Tech won it last year.
Georgia Tech won it.
That's right. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the Fighting Josh Pastners with his giant face shield.
Yeah, whatever that face shield thing was. He was wearing.
But Michigan, if they were to make it this far, they would need to get that far to have any chance, a realistic chance at getting in the tournament. I believe they're on the bubble right now. But here's some questions. Like, do you think Howard and Greg Gard are going to ignore each other before the game?
No, I think they will
act like they never.
They're going to
act like this never happened.
They're going to act like gentlemen. They're going to shake hands. They're going to wish each other good luck, and they're going to move on.
That's the right thing to do.
I think for their kids, they have to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, just to
for
show
their
the kids that
jobs,
look
they
like,
have
this was a one-time thing, and we've got to, we got to put this behind us and act like men, and we got to show our kids how to be men.
That's true, man.
You want a war, don't you?
he wants to. He wants to go to a basketball game and have a UFC fight.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't want it to get that far. You know what I'm saying? But it is nice seeing that. Like, you can shake hands and still look at each other like you don't necessarily like each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't mind a little bit of that, a little bit of known rivalry added to the whole recipe of what's going on, especially because if they get to play this game, it's going to be for the championship game. But then there's the other side of how these tournaments work. You know what I mean? Like these conference tournaments, you could be playing from Wednesday all the way to Saturday or Sunday. And that's a lot of games in a short amount of time.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Do you think one of the Wisconsin players or Michigan players does the X thing?
Oh, like DX? Suck it?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like there used to be a wrestling thing, and they would create an X and
okay.
Yeah. So and then they would say suck it. Oh, okay. That's what they would say.
And why would they?
Because they wanted the other person to not do good at what they're
doing.
doing.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, I don't know if that would happen, but I just want to see not. It's hard to explain it. It's not animosity necessarily, but just a little bit of drama
Some
added
bitterness,
to the game.
some vitriol.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Gentleman on the phone is calling about Lucia Harris from yesterday.
Oh, Jackson State Jeff, perfect timing, my man. Go ahead and give us the lowdown on Big Lucy.
Big Lucy, man, you got a country vibe. You got to let it roll out. Big Lucy.
Big Lucy.
There you go. Yeah, but man, Big Lucy is from Mississippi. She played for Delta State from 73 to 77. People don't realize they didn't even have the women's NCAA championship going on. And I think it started like about 82, 83. But up until then, they just had the NAIA for women. But in 73, they beat Immaculata or something like that, I think it was, for the first championship. Came back the next year in 76. She scored 42 points in the championship. They after beat in Madison Square Garden in front of, at that time, the largest crowd they ever witnessed a women's basketball game of 10,000.
Wow.
She was on the first Olympic team in 1976 that only had Ann Myers, Pat Summitt, and Nancy Lieber on the squad also. Where she was the leading scorer and rebounder on that team. And Pat Summitt, and I quote, saying that she was the most tenacious woman she's ever seen with a basketball in her hands. She only had one natural rival, and that was a 7-foot lady from China. Not from China, but from Russia. Of course, you know, they used to shoot them up from Russia.
I wasn't ready for that one. And then also she was actually drafted in the NBA draft.
That's right. She was drafted in the 7th round by the New Orleans Jazz. She actually didn't take it because she thought it was a joke. So she just called them up and said that she didn't want to be an actual, just a little freak. So she didn't go, but they were actually serious about it at the contract on the table.
Wow.
But yeah, man, she was She was a terrific player. When as a kid growing up, I mean, she was the biggest basketball star on the men and women's level in Mississippi during those years.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, I was reading up on that today after you told us about that yesterday. I was like, man, he was not even lying. Like, it's easy to believe, or at least when you don't know about something. First woman to be drafted in the NBA, you know what I mean? This happened in the 70s, so you're a little perplexed by it. And then I look it up, I'm like, dadgum, Jackson State Jeff never leads us astray.
So Kyle Wright, next go to GOATs.
Big
Lucy. There we go.
Hey, so real quick before we get you off the line here, read today that Deion Sanders had 2 of his toes amputated. How is he going to have to continue to stay in a wheelchair, or how's that going to work out for Coach Prime?
Actually, Coach Prime is up, moving around, man. You know, of course, that was several months ago when that happened. But his first step, if you will, was when we went to the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. Of course, he said that was his wish. He wanted to, make a step into the place where he stepped into his professional career there in Atlanta. So he's up on 2 feet. He's actually jumping around. He was actually giving a shout out to the Lady Tigers, who he was at the game just the other night, as they defeated Mississippi Valley to successfully continue this year undefeated, second year in a row undefeated in SWAC play. So shout out to Miss Coach Tariq Reed. And, of course, by the way, before I go, Deion has his daughter coming. That's official. Little Deion, Miss Deion, I should say. I forget her name. But she is coming to Jackson State to play basketball for us. So Sanders family continues.
I love what's happening over there at Jackson State University. Y'all are doing such an amazing thing, and Deion just the fact of him being there has helped all the athletic, and I might be mistaken about this, but it seems like he's helped all the athletic programs, not just for Jackson State Jeff, but in a sense for all of the HBCU squads.
He's definitely putting his best foot forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No questions asked. I think probably every HBCU coach and AD need to probably send him a check.
Ooh, I like it.
Well, there's nothing that Deion likes better than is a check.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, G-G, baby. Just like before Reagan Boss would say, straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Hey, Jackson State Jeff, we're going to head over to a break. Thanks so much for the call, my man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
Still
sir.
Man. Love y'all.
Hey, love you too, man, and love the story on Big Lucy, man. That is some great stuff, and the update on Jackson State University. We're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, we'll have the Outlaws, brand new rugby club here in Panama City.
High weather forecast overnight. Showers expected, and the temperature overnight with maybe a rumble of thunder, about 65 degrees. South wind at 10. Showers and thunderstorms likely Wednesday into Thursday. A weather front coming in and stalling. The temperatures in the mid-70s during the day and low to mid-60s at night. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Greeny. The sports purist in me likes seeing him stay because he now, barring something unexpected, will become like Kobe, Jeter, Nowitzki, Ripken, a modern era great who played his entire career with one organization. There's something about that I like. I don't know how you put a value on it, but there's something about it I like.
Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4. ESPN Northwest Florida.
In 22, the thing to do is reboot the whole family at That Boot Store. With name brand Western wear for the smallest to the largest Wrangler is available at That Boot Store. Need durable name brand Carhartt work clothes at a price you can afford? Stop by That Boot Store. Next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your new year.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition, now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. That's 800-431-9667.
The last time he went to a club, the DJ was taking requests. So he gave them $10 and requested they played Turn Down the Volume. Old School is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Radio Room. Turn down for what? ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we're working with Jack Patterson to present Wrestling Against Cancer 7. All proceeds are going to benefit Mosley High School student Kendall Susie. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. The bell is going to ring at 6:30. Tickets are $12. 6 through 10, or ages 6 through 10 are $10. 5 and under get in free. This is going to be Saturday, April 30th, 2022 at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Wrestling Against Cancer. And also keep Jack Patterson. He puts all these on. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers because he's dealing with some health ailments. I don't know exactly which one it is right now, but he's got a couple of them going back and forth.
He commented on the Facebook page earlier, and he did say that he is at home right now.
He is at home now?
And it says he's going to start going to Shands for his heart, just like he does his lungs. So
okay.
We're wishing him all
so
the
it's
best.
heart and lungs now, yeah. So keep you updated on that. But now we're going to talk to the Outlaws. Jessica Titzer is here with us. And tell us about the Outlaws and how everything got started. Why'd you want to bring that here to Panama City?
So I love sports. I wanted something that I could do that consisted of cardio rather than running on the treadmill and, just going to the gym and do cardio. So I thought, getting involved socially, instead of just going out to the bars, hey, I want to play on a sports team.
Yeah, no doubt. I love it. So how did you get involved in rugby? Have you played rugby before?
So I got involved first in college in Indiana, at the University of Southern Indiana. And then I was asked by a friend down here that I work with if I would come and come play rugby. And if I was interested, I said, sure.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been doing it then?
Since before COVID, but if you want to talk about when I went to college, that was over 10 years ago, but there was a long break in that time period.
Okay, cool. So when is practices going to be starting?
So we have practices on Thursdays, usually at 6 p.m. It's going to change a little bit in the summertime when, the sun goes down a little bit slower. But Thursdays, usually we get together on Sundays, and we might add a Tuesday practice. So just keep up on our Instagram or our Facebook page.
All right, what's the Instagram and Facebook page?
So the Instagram is Outlaw Rugby, and the Facebook page, they wouldn't really let us change the name yet, so we couldn't put Outlaw in front of it. Panama City Beach Rugby, and it's a rugby club, and it's got a logo of a female outlaw on it.
All right, and that's the Instagram?
That's the Facebook.
Facebook page. Okay, I got him.
Yeah, Outlaw Rugby is the Instagram, and we do have a website, pcvrugby.com.
Awesome, man. I love this stuff. This is really cool. I've never played rugby myself, but I've watched it a couple of times. I get a little confused on the rules, so that's what you guys are here for today as well, is to teach me some more about rugby. What's your name, my man?
My name is Hamza, but I go by Han. Been playing rugby for back in college, like Jess. Played it back in college for a couple of years, then stopped, and came to I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
University of South Alabama. Moved here, and then found Jess actually, and she got me introduced to playing rugby, and we've been playing since I think so. It's been 4 months now, and it's been fun so far. So it's been pretty good.
Have you ever played football before?
Yes.
So that's where I want to get to. What is like a difference that maybe other people who haven't watched rugby, what's the difference in football and rugby?
So rugby is more of a, to be honest, it's more of a aggressive, not that aggressive, but it is an aggressive game. But I mean, uh, it's more team building, team community. Like it's more team building, and it's more of a support game as I see than compared to football. I've done played football, soccer, cricket, but found an interest more in rugby now because it's first of all, you get your cardio out.
Yeah.
You get your running. Making sure that you're involved. It's much more involved. So that's why rugby is more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can one of y'all explain a scrum to me?
Come on over. Come on
Yeah,
down.
don't be shy.
Jess, let's go.
I don't mind explaining it. So a scrum happens when there is a penalty, such as a forward pass, because you can only pass the ball backwards. Or if I would throw you the ball and your fingertips hit it forward, it's called a knock-on. So that's, a common penalty. A knock-on, again, if I pass you the ball, it goes forward. Or if I forward pass it to you, that would result in a scrum. The scrum are your bigger, stronger people, and they're involved. It's kind of like a tug of war, it almost seems like. And your scrum half will throw the ball down the tunnel, and what's called the hooker as a position will kick it back, and that will restart the play. And the two teams will be pushing against each other.
Whoa, man. So yeah, go ahead. Jump
I
on.
was just going to say, I can kind of explain it for those that are more familiar with football.
All right.
In football, you can only pass the ball.
Get a little bit closer.
In football, you can only pass the ball when you're behind the line of scrimmage forward, but after you cross the line of scrimmage, you can only lateral backwards.
Right.
So in rugby, you can only lateral backwards all of the time.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a combination of soccer and football. And if you pass the line of scrimmage in rugby and you accidentally throw the ball forwards, you're going to have to give the ball to the other team, and that's when a ruck comes into place. The ruck involves basically your linemen, like your bigger guys in football when you have linemen. You're basically fighting. Both teams are going to fight over the ball to see who gets possession of the ball, but the opposite team has advantage because you knocked the ball on forward when that's not allowed.
Well, no. So the scrum happens with a knock-on or a forward pass, and then a ruck is actually I think he meant scrum. And then a ruck is when you get tackled. It's kind of like continue and play.
So you can't tackle?
You tackle, but you do not stop play, unlike football stops play.
Right. That's one of the things that's always kind of been mind-boggling. It's like it never stops, and these guys are getting it.
So when they say 80 minutes, it's not 80 minutes, hey, we're stopping, we got tackled.
Yeah.
You're continuing play.
Yes, 80. You got to be an Iron Man for sure. So, do people have to have experience to join the team?
No, of course not. We love new people. We love teaching people the sport. We also have touch rugby for people that feel uncomfortable with tackling, and then we will teach them to tackle as soon as they feel comfortable. We'll teach them individually. We won't just throw them in.
And what kind of gear do you guys got to have? Do you have to have your gear all ready before you come try out, or is that something that you could come practice and kind of see if you like it and then start getting the gear?
Yeah, exactly. Come to practice, do some of the drills, see that you like it first before you pay money to get cleats, which we wear. You can wear soccer cleats. There are rugby cleats out there, but you have to get them online. So soccer cleats usually is what we wear. Mouth guards, and then bring water.
And then shirts and shorts, right?
Yeah, shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
So Han, who do you guys play, and how would people come watch?
So we're practicing, internally. We're trying to build the team up. We have worked a lot harder, and we do usually go out. We've gone out to New Orleans. We have gone. We will be going out to Savannah this week.
Oh, nice.
And Nashville in the coming weeks. So yeah, there are teams out there. We're going to be playing them. But as of right now, here we are actually doing more of a team building exercise. We're getting new people, new faces every week, to be honest. And we don't mind more. We want more people to come in and building a team together, a core team. And then definitely, we do go out to Mobile We go out to New Orleans, Savannah, and all these places, and we play the teams out there.
That is awesome.
I have a friend that played rugby up in Atlanta, and he said, yeah, the rugby game is fun, but the after party is a lot of fun. That's what I've been told. So, I mean, everybody says that, no one has more fun than the rugby players do after the game.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. I mean, bunch of guys and gals are from different backgrounds. We have full time, like Stoney says always. Yeah. We have a full time job, but then this is a game. And then afterwards, we sit down, we chill, we party. You know how it goes.
Yep.
I love it. So Jess, is rugby co-ed, or do y'all have a separate team for just you and the ladies?
So we practice co-ed, and of course we do have a women's team that's branched off, but we still practice together. We're very supportive of the men, and we're having the men be supportive of us as well. And when we have our spring league that we're going to do, we're going to make it co-ed. So, I mean, we do touch co-ed.
That's awesome, though.
And where do you play your games? Where do you practice and play your games?
So we practice at Frank Brown Park right now, and we play games. We usually travel, and we'll probably be doing some, when we're doing our spring league, we're going to do either Aaron Besson Park or Frank Brown Park, whatever is available, because, summertime kind of gets a little bit busy.
That is some awesome stuff. Go ahead.
Is it more fun in the rain or when it's dry?
Well, you don't want to hit your knee on a dry ground because it can feel like cement. Mm-hmm. So if it's a little bit, it had rained the day before, that's the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's football too, right? Isn't it a little bit better with a little mud?
You can look at all of our knees right now, and they are a little scratched up, but rain works perfectly.
Rain works perfectly. All right, we're going to take a short time out. We're going to come back and talk more about the brand new rugby club here in Panama City, the Outlaws. Stick with us right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
A working group came up with a plan for a 12-team playoff. Most everyone signed off on it. We'll figure it out. And the possibility of it starting in 2 years was very real. And then this happened. The SEC took refugees from the Big 12, Oklahoma and Texas. The whole thing literally came apart, and we are sitting here today without a college football playoff expansion. The next possibility of it is 2026.
Weekday evenings 6 to 10, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Hi, I'm Bobby Lighters with today's Car Clinic Minute. Trolls charge them to cross bridges. Banks levy them to use ATMs. But I know an automotive fee that's next best to free and good for the environment. When I come back, I'll tell you all about it.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Believe it or not, there's a fee that keeps two things green, your wallet and the environment. When purchasing a new battery for your vehicle, a core charge levied by the government is collected by retailers. So where's the good news? Trade in your old battery and the fee's waived. Or if you forget to bring it with you, just return it later and the core charge will be cheerfully refunded. An environmental bonus? Used batteries kept out of landfills are collected from retailers and recycled. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play. David Hayes, Old School, and Boston Tim, the Afternoon Underdogs. Live and local inside the Rib Crib Radio Room on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are with the Outlaws, brand new rugby club here. And am I saying that right? Is it brand new? How long have you guys been around for?
About 6 months now.
Yeah, you know how they do with radio stations for like the first 4 or 5 years. This is brand new.
Right.
All right. So, first question I want to ask you. This is strong, Tim. Tim Pollard, man. Man, I used to play baseball with him way back in the day, and not only that, but you serve for our military, and we appreciate that and all that you guys do. So, does the team do any kind of volunteer work in the community?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I was supposed to ask that to Stoney. My bad. We'll get back to you, Tim. My bad. Stoney, what's going on, brother?
Yes, we do. We're doing.
Get a little closer to that mic for him, please.
We're helping out House of Henry next week for St. Patty's Day. All the stuff going on there with extra security and a little helping them run food and that kind of stuff. Since it's going to be such a big event down through Harris Avenue there. They're one of the big contributors to us. We're still looking for more.
So we're looking for sponsors here for the Outlaws.
Yes.
All right. We can post that on Facebook.
We're not trying to put all the burdens on the team when we travel. So, like, I don't want to have to make my team players constantly put all the money out for hotel rooms. Plus, we got to buy jerseys, which club buys. And then there is a few things that we use for practice as goal posts, pads, rucking pads, tackling dummies, that kind of stuff, cones, balls, keeping that equipment up to date so it don't get wore out and we stay constantly rejuvenant and with the turn of times. Does that make sense? Well,
Yeah.
It's going.
Yeah. No, it makes
involving with
a ton of
the way the
sense.
sport changes.
Right.
So, Tim, how long have you been playing?
I'm brand new.
Brand new?
When I got back about 5 months ago, I was introduced to the rugby team, and they've been great. Welcoming me with open arms, and we got to hang out a couple of times, and I've seen them grow. When I first went to a couple of practices, we had about 5 or so people, and now it's like we've had 33, 47 around there sometimes at practice, so it's been growing.
How many people play on each side? Like, how many people per team for rugby?
15. There's 15 per team on the field in a game of 15s. So then you actually have 30 people on a field because you have the other opposing team of 15. Then there's also what they call 10s, where you just instead of playing on the same size field, but you play 10 versus 10. Then it goes down more in the summertime when we actually play 7-on-7 on the same size field. It's a lot more running.
Oh, I could not imagine that, man. I could not imagine the 7-on-7 on a regulation size field.
Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
So is there, like, in American football, there's plays, where you in advance, what your assignments are and the ball's going to go a certain place. When I've watched the rugby, I know that scrum happens and then the ball comes out the back and it's off to the races and running at that point. And then, but it was always one guy somewhere along the line as you're passing is it a ball? Is that what you call it? Okay. Yeah. You're passing it back to the guy behind you, and then all of a sudden one person will just make a break and try to go through and break loose. Is that a specific design play, or is that just reactionary?
It's kind of both. What we call it's coordinated chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is actually plays and drills that we work on, but you still don't know what the defense is going to do. So you have to react that play to what the opposing player is doing against you.
So when you get into the end zone,
Try
or whatever it's called.
It's called the dry zone.
The dry zone.
We're gonna have to have like a whole segment just on terminology and like learning the game.
And then you have to
place it down.
Place the ball down.
Yes.
There's no spike in it. You just place the ball down and then
has to be held with downward pressure.
Okay.
So you actually have to. Someone has to see.
Place it down.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is what I like about the game. There's no trash talking. Well, there is, but I mean, it's not like they're gonna run into the try zone and
they're still playing while they're.
There is no dropping the ball before they get to the try zone like we see some of these wide receivers do. Right.
The catch was that is say we still try to keep the modern points of like football 7 points, but we do 5 for the try and 2 for conversion.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of how like football, they automatically line up for the conversion kick or what they call goalpost. Wherever you touch it down at, you come out from there and you have to kick it from there.
So if you're in the very
Yes,
corner, you've got to angle it through, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
man.
intense.
And do they drop kick it? Do they drop kick it, or do they just
Drop kick it or tee.
or off a
Yeah.
tee? Wow.
It depends on your kicker, however you want
Now,
to do
if
it.
you're on that very corner, is the defense allowed to try to block that kick?
You're allowed to charge. If your teammates are all back behind the try line, you can actually run down, do a charge down. If your teammates are out behind where the person is kicking, because you can't be in front of the kicker, you cannot charge. It's kind of one of them. We all have what they call, a lot of people call them rules, but it's actually laws.
Yeah.
Is what all the rules are. It's called laws
Right.
in rugby.
So how long have you been playing rugby for?
I started playing rugby in 1991.
Oh, man, I was born then. So, Ryan, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing for about 6 months now.
Okay. How'd you get into it? How'd you hear about it?
I moved down to Florida about a year and a half ago, and I had left the Air Force, and then I was looking for something else to do because I kind of lost my sense of community and just camaraderie and team building activities. And then I had met Jess, and then I've been hooked on it ever since. It's dope.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your service, and we appreciate all you guys coming in. Kirby, how long have you been playing? I know that you're far away from the mic, but
No, that's okay. About the same. Actually less. About 3 months.
3 months, Han?
About 4 months.
4 months? Jess, you've been playing for a good little while now because you started in college. Stone, man, and Tim just getting started. So how many more people are we looking for the Outlaws to really help us be able to play in more events and stuff?
Well, we're already up to like 30-some people, which is enough to start playing events. We're
Okay.
actually going to do, next year we're going to actually enter what they call as the Matrix, which we have assigned games every Saturday.
I'm taking the red pill.
And you actually have signed tournaments because, like, back in 2009, I played with Indianapolis and Palace, and we played what they call as D2. Right now, we've been entering this team as D3. So you can move from D3 to D2 to D1 to playing like Super League, which is what the New Orleans Gold are.
Okay. So we have a professional league here in America?
Yes.
Oh.
We have the United States Eagles.
Why am
Nice.
I lost on this, man?
I don't know.
I need some links or something.
Right,
Shot
so
to me soon.
explain to me substitutions, right? Because we know in soccer, once you come off, you're out.
done.
I'm assuming in rugby, it's a little different than that.
It depends on why you had to be a substitute. If if you could be a blood sub, it means that once the bleeding is stopped on the injured person, they can come back in. You get you bumping each other's heads, you get little cuts, and you're not. It's that safety stuff about not bleeding another person. So you come out. You get
I think he's laughing because he's imagining how many times you guys are
I
opening
mean, I don't know how you get through the game with
Right, without
stop
bleeding,
and
like-
constant, especially when you get old with me and your skin gets real thin. I mean, you do anything, you're cutting yourself.
Man, that is some really cool stuff. So once again, you can find them on Instagram, outlawrugby.com.
Yes, sir.
All right, and at PC, and then PCB, Outlaw Rugby PCB, and then Facebook PCB Rugby Club. All right, so that's a way to find them. If you guys have any interest, are we getting any text over there? If you guys have any interest, 850-215-6290, give me a call. I'll get you in touch with these guys, and we'll get you a hold of their Facebook and all of that good stuff. I'm really excited. Are we going to have any games here in this area that we could come check out this year?
We're trying to work on some scrimmages against like Mobile. They're going to come over and get stuff like set up to help us get more the new people involved in learning a little like controlled match, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. A scrimmage,
not a full-on just go at it, where we actually talk to them and help each other out. And
well, I could imagine with how many, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, a guy like me, never had played, it's better to give those guys somewhat of experience, and not the guys who's been playing for months, but if a guy just touches down and he's played for 2 weeks, it's a lot more comfortable for him to be pushed in slowly rather than, all right, here you go, buddy. Hope you survive tonight.
Yeah.
As I said, I've been playing, since 1991, and the game still is evolving. That every couple times a month, I'm learning something new.
Chicken Wing Paul asks about wants us to ask about the sin bin.
Yes. Sin bin is a yellow card, similar to soccer. We have a yellow card and a red card. Yellow card means you did an infraction, which is called a penalty, that you get sent off the field for 10 minutes. then you can come back on. If you get a red card, you're ejected for the game.
Oh, man.
And then you got to go to I can't talk right now, disciplinary board to see how severe they say it was. If you're going to get blocked out for 2 or 3 games, or if you're just ejected for that one game, or what.
So please tell me that if you get the yellow card and you have to go off, that you go to the sin bin.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
You made a sin.
That's awesome.
So can you on the radio, like PG here, can you explain what would give you a red card on the field? Just an example.
Red card is typically, say, because you're in rugby, unlike football, you have to control your tackle. You can't just run up and shoulder somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So say you run up and just shoulder somebody, like blatantly just cock, and you hit them hard enough that, yeah, you made them snot bubbles, they're dazed for a minute, you'll be ejected for that for a red card.
Is rugby safer in a sense, safer than football? Like, you guys play without pads, and you see the football players full on padding and everything, but you guys have rules kind of in place in a better situation than what football does to keep players safe.
Yes.
That's amazing.
There is actually stated facts throughout the world, there is less injuries in rugby than there is in football.
Man, I'm really excited about this thing that you guys got going on. I'm really excited that
I think we got to get young Dave out there and let him run around.
Ooh, all right. We will get out there, no doubt about it. So one more time, is there any more tryouts? And if someone's listening and they want to come try out, what would be a good day to come out there and try out with you guys?
This Thursday, Frank Brown Park. And from there, it's going to be every Thursday right now until either Aaron Bessent, Frank Brown Park. The best way to find out for sure where the practice is going to be on is through the media sites. All right. Events going on with, we got Thunder Beach coming up. We got Gulf Coast Jam and all that stuff. So that takes events from different places we have to practice.
I'm loving this, man. I definitely am going to be getting a jersey. When you guys put your order in, I'll give you some money, and I want a jersey as well. For Han, Ryan, Stoney, Kirby, Jess, Tim, the Outlaws Rugby Club of Panama City Beach. It's been awesome having you guys in. Strong Tim, been a while, my man. We're going to take a short time out, and when we get back, we'll be giving you the high school spotlight.
My weather forecast overnight, showers expected, and the temperature overnight with maybe a rumble of thunder, about 65 degrees, south wind at 10. Showers and thunderstorms likely Wednesday into Thursday, a weather front coming in and stalling. The temperatures in the mid-70s during the day and low to mid-60s at night. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. Who will be this year's Cinderella? ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament. Sponsored locally by
Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Bill Bird Kia, and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready for the best pizza in Bay County? It's Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, with over 100 years of recipes passed down through 4 generations. Paparazzi Gourmet specializes in New York and authentic Italian-American specialties from the deli, prepared foods, and of course, pizza. They even cater for all occasions. Click paparazzigourmetdeli.com to check out their daily specials. Come taste the difference at Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, Thomas Drive next to Goodwill on Panama City Beach. Call 850-588-8244 for fast pickup and DoorDash.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Now's the time to have us supply our long-lasting custom blend fertilizer that is guaranteed to be the answer your lawn needs in order to stay green and beautiful all summer long. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900. 850-874-1900.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
The state will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, welcome back. You're in the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes. I've got Old School and AG Adam Goff with us today. Big shout out to our youth leagues. And if you've got a youngin' who's playing youth sports out there, all you got to do is find me on Facebook, David Hayes, and shoot me the information. This is our high school spotlight, but it's also our local spotlight, and we want to make these kids excited to play baseball, softball, basketball, all these things again. Rugby.
Right.
Way to go. That was
so
really
much fun,
cool, man.
That is so much fun. They were just telling me that the first time you score, there are special activities of which you choose to participate in. One is you drink out of your shoe.
Oh, a shoey.
A shoey.
Ah, like Taito Basa.
Yeah, and then the other was you streak around it, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm in.
I might would leave marks in the grass if I was streaking.
Was he on a unicycle?
Yeah. All right, so real quick, because we're definitely going to be getting some more rugby on, but Callaway Surge, big shout out to them. Jimmy Horn was hooking me up with the information here. The Callaway Surge defeat the Southport Marlins 5-3. That's 8U baseball. The Callaway Bombers defeated the Callaway Sharks in 10U baseball 11-4. Over the weekend, we had the 8 and under Crush, who went into the tournament as the number 1 seed. They defeated South Alabama Dirtbags and the Mississippi Bulls with combined scores of 31 runs for the Crush versus 4 runs allowed by the Crush.
Double shellacking.
Yeah, that
is a double shellacking.
We need a new word for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that one for a while.
Shawhooping?
That is awesome. What a performance.
How about they chalked out?
Yeah, they
chalked out their competition.
But in the championship game, came up just short to the number 1 team in Florida out of pace. That goes by Top Secret. A.J. Grady was the MVP for that, and Isaiah Jimenez was the best hitter. He had 2 home runs. Tonight at Highland Park, you've got the 10 under Highland Park Hurricanes going live at 6 p.m. So go cheer on the young baseball and softball players. Old School, you want to get in some high school baseball
scores?
Scores?
Got high school baseball scores here. We've got South Walton taking on Destin, and South Walton gets the win 10-0. Arnold takes down Choctaw 9-2. Laurel Hill defeats East Hill Christian 15-8. Paxton takes down Sneeds 10-6. Freeport takes on Pensacola, comes away with a victory 12-2. Holmes puts a whooping on Walton 14-2, and Chipley shuts out Bluntstown 3-0.
Ahead of the JUCO college basketball tournament, the state champion Chipola men's team earned the number 5 seed and will take on the winner of Hutchinson and Connors State on March 16th. The Northwest Florida men's team was given the number 10 seed and will face Trinidad State on March 14th. The Northwest Florida women's team earned the number 4 seed, and they're going to be taking on the winner of South Plains and North Dakota SCS on March 18th. The Chipola women's team was given the 16th seed and will face Tyler on March 16th. The men's tournament will be in Hutchinson, Kansas, and the girls tournament will be in Lubbock, Texas. Gulf Coast women's team was not given the nod to the national tournament. They finished the season, though, at 19-10. They beat 9 ranked opponents, and they took down 3 top 10 teams. So the future is still looking great for the Lady Commodores. And then in the world of softball for the Commodores, congrats to Emily Greek on being named the FCSAA Player of the Week, and Savannah Bradford on being the Pitcher of the Week. Adam Goff, we didn't. Yep.
One more score here that I found. High school softball. Paxton puts a shellacking.
Yep.
On South Walton, 16-0.
And that is some good stuff. Aaron Rodgers returning to play for the Green Bay Packers. AG, is this what you thought was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was going to go anywhere. There's rumors and speculation, but that's what this guy wants. He wants his name being mentioned everywhere at all times, no matter what the topic is. It's his house in Nashville. It's his fiance, breaking up with him. It's, this contract. I don't want to be in Green Bay. I'd rather be over here, or maybe I'm going to retire. Now I want to be the highest paid player, but I don't have any teammates. You're not supplying me with anything. So the dude just loves. He's like T.O. I love me some me. Love me some me.
All right, real quick, if you have a thought on that, just hold on to it for 1 second, because the deadline was today for the franchise tag. The Chiefs put theirs on offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. The Cleveland Browns used theirs on tight end David Njoku. The Cowboys with the tight end Dalton Schultz came on very hot last year. They've tagged him. The Dolphins, same thing, going after their tight end and Mike Gesicki. The Packers tagged Devontae Adams. Tampa Bay Buccaneers tagged Chris Godwin. The Jags tagged their offensive tackle Cam Robinson. The Bengals, are you happy with the tag there? So tell me what you're thinking about what your team is doing with Jesse Bates.
So they tagged him, and we all knew it was coming. They're still in the contract talks with him. They want to make him, they want him to be there for the long haul. This was just a way to keep him in the fold and still be able to negotiate with him. The good thing is Jesse Bates has come out and said he doesn't want to be the highest paid safety, but the Bengals still need to do their due diligence and pay the man what he's worth. So I mean, he's paying 13.5, I think, for his franchise tag. If you get him somewhere in the neighborhood of 18, 19 mil, so they're not far apart.
Now, this is a discussion question. When was the last time that a player came out and said, I want to be the highest paid at any particular position, and then came back and the next year was actually worth something? I mean, I'm just thinking of Zeke. And Patrick Mahomes never came out and said, I want to be the highest paid quarterback. They made him the highest paid quarterback. But you look at Ezekiel Elliott, I've got to be the highest paid running back. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. The list kind of just goes on and on. Anytime that you think that you're the best in your position in a league where everyone is great, I think that so what I'm saying is I commend Jesse Bates on saying I'm not trying to be the highest paid, but look, facts don't lie. I'm up there with them.
Right. No, and I agree. I think he's one of the top 5 safeties in the game, and he should be paid that.
That's a good point. When was can you think of somebody who said I need to be the highest paid, and you would have the best recollection of anyone? Then it would be Adam, and then it would be myself. Age wise of how long we've been on God's green earth.
No, I can't think of anybody other than maybe, and I'm not sure if Zeke said this, but he wanted to be the highest paid running back. There's been times where guys wanted to be the highest paid quarterback. And, I remember Matt Ryan wanted to be, because Matt Stafford.
He fits in that.
Matt Stafford
he
signed,
got it, and then it was the year after.
And then it was Matt Ryan, and then it was the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So, yeah, there's times when guys want to be the top of their position group. Now, is that what's best for the?
I'm saying when
club?
they claim they want that, but then has there been a time when they want that, they get that, they come and prove that they are that? I think 9 times out of 10, and I'd have to go back and do a little bit deeper or some more research here on this, but 9 times out of 10, you want that money to be the highest. That's why I was worried about Derrick Henry trying to hold out, especially when they hold out. When they hold out, you could already tell their focus really isn't. Maybe Emmitt Smith in his holdout, but I can't recall because I was very young at the time for him of was he asking to be highest paid or did he just want a new contract?
He wanted a new contract, and it would make him one of the highest paid.
Yeah, see, one of, if you deserve one of, but to sit there and say, I am the best, pay me like the best.
Right. But, the interesting part was he held out. The Cowboys refused to do it. They went 0-2 to start the season.
With a bad loss to the Redskins and then the Bills after that.
Correct. And then Jerry Jones made the deal. And Emmitt came in. They went on to go on and win the Super Bowl.
And it's some good stuff.
I think you see more of this from offensive linemen, right? Where they're not out there, brazenly saying, I'm going to be the number 1 paid offensive lineman. But, some of those... the Cowboys offensive lineman back in the late 80s. What was the big guy's name? Help me out here. Old school.
The big tackle?
Yeah.
Oh, what was his name?
But anyway, he was one that comes to mind where they made him the highest paid, and he
was.
And he was. And he backed
did
it
they
up.
make him, or did he
No,
say?
he came out and said, "I need to be the highest paid offensive lineman."
Because he was head and shoulders better than everybody else, and
literally.
Yes, he was bigger, and he was the left tackle for the Cowboys forever and ever, and I can't think of his name.
So if y'all can help us out with that, send in a text or a shot on Facebook.
Chargers and Mike Williams agreed to a 3-year, $60 million deal. $40 million of that is guaranteed. Do you watch wrestling at all?
No, I'm not. No, when I was a kid.
So I saw a little video today real quick while we're ending the show up. Kevin Owens, I'm not really sure who Kevin Owens is. I'm sure if you watch wrestling, you know exactly who he is. But I do know the other guy that he called out, and that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're going to be wrestling. Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be wrestling again at WrestleMania at April 2nd and 3rd. So that's
How
really
old
cool.
is Austin?
But he's like 60 years old or something like that. Anyways, we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 4. Coach James Hale and the gang live at you at 7 a.m. Thanks for listening.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college